Welcome to GNB Youth Ministry Program. This program mostly focuses on Habesha kids who are living abroad their motherland and who are born here.
Habesha children that were born and grew up outside of their motherland have many challenges. Mainly, one of these problems are cultural and language barriers between their parents. And these Habesha parents can't really adapt to the culture quickly.
For example, some Habesha parents disagree with their daughters by the way they dress, accessorize, and the makeup they wear.
Luke 1:17 says, "To turn the hearts of the parents to their children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord." Jesus came to turn the hearts of the children to the parents, and the parents' hearts to the children. So our goal on this youth ministry is to fulfill the gap.
So this program will be focusing on picking out topics, and on today's topic we will be discussing with others. Today we have a few of our friends here as guests to discuss on some of these topics, so you low-key don't want to miss this. We would like to thank our guests for joining us in this Season 1, Episode 1 GNB Youth Ministry Program. We would like to ask you guys to tell us your name, age, and your grade.
Hi, my name is Salome Haile. I'm a second-year university student, and I'm 19 years old.
Hi, my name is Getayawkal, and I'm in 11th grade, and I'm 17 years old.
Hi, my name is Vasnada. I'm in 11th grade, and I'm 17 years old.
Hi, my name is Kenani Godana. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm 15 years old.
Hi, my name is Doriti Godana. I'm in 12th grade and I'm 17 years old.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about a topic, and before I speak about it, I want to ask you guys something. And since we were kids, all of us like some things, and for some reason, we wouldn't be able to get it. Since all of us love candy when we were kids, we weren't able to get candy unless it was someone's birthday or when we were at a party. And our parents would tell us that it would spoil our teeth. So from a young age, we would always want candy, me and my sister. And we'd say that when we grow up and get money, we would buy a handful of candy and eat them all at once. But once we grew up, we didn't desire the candy as much as we used to. Let me ask you guys this. What is one thing you wanted as kids, but as time went on, you changed your mind, you grew up, and you didn't really want it anymore? Mine is anticipating to watch a PG-13 movie, and it's not that much to me now. So what is it?
Well, for me, it's kind of weird, but I always wanted a job when I was older because I was like, oh, my parents don't have to do homework. They don't have to do anything. They just go to work, and then they're done with everything, and they can just do what they want. But then now that I'm older, I realized I like learning and I love school, but I would never want a job yet because it's a lot of responsibility. You pay taxes, and it's just a lot more work than I thought it would be.
For me, I used to love, I loved being in the car and sitting in a car seat. I just loved it so much to the point when I was younger, I would cry so they could bring the car seat inside the house so I could sit inside the house. But now, when I think about it, I don't even like being in the car for a long time. So, it's just crazy how things changed.
For me, I thought it as more I wanted to have more toy cars because, little kids at the age of 5, 6 always like to have, cars. I thought if I had all these cars, maybe I would actually have those in the future, but really, that didn't happen. So, and plus, whenever my parents say, "Oh, give it to this person," you don't want to do it. So that's what I thought too.
When I was a little kid, I really liked stuffed animals. I'd take them everywhere. Wherever I went, I would have this special bear that I always had. And I'd bring it in the car, but now I don't have them anymore. They're just sitting in the garage, collecting dust.
For me, I loved clothes. I would wear my mom's clothes, even sometimes my dad's clothes, and just walk around in them. And I would wait till I have a bunch of money so I can just buy clothes. But now, I don't even like leaving the house to go shopping. So things changed.
So today's discussion includes what we just talked about. When we were kids, we had desires and wishes saying when I grow up I'm gonna get rich, get money, buy all these stuff. Like when I was a kid, I used to say that I'm gonna buy a company that makes warm ice cream because because when I love ice cream so much, like I want it every day, but I would get a cold and then I wouldn't have ice cream. So I asked my parents, can I have a warm ice cream? And they said that doesn't exist. So I wanted to invent one. But I grew up, found out that was silly. Those were simple wishes we made when we were kids. Now we grew up and we have different wishes or plans that actually make sense, and you're able to make it come true, unlike mine. And some of these plans may be dangerous. For example, if you have strict parents and they don't let you be, and you wanted to try, let's say, drinking, but they won't let you, then you would grow up and make a plan saying, when I grow up in the future, I'm going to leave and drink as much as I want. So I think now is the time that you should check yourself and plan, and the plans that you are making, and check if that's going to affect you and others.
So to start the questions up, I'm going to start with Salome. And I know you're a college student and you live in a state away from your family. And many kids believe that they will be free once they're in college and away from their family. And you're out of state. So why don't you tell us your experience in college and what you have to say to them?
So I'm a second year in college, and the first year was a lot of learning, especially the first semester, where I was finally faced with decisions that like you watch in the TV show where like they're pressuring you to do things and you actually have to make a choice, because in high school I was always doing my academics or sports and stuff, so I was always home or at school doing work, so it was never like that kind of opportunity. But in school, the first semester, there was a lot of questions I had to ask myself about what I believed, what were my standards, and what were my values. And because of that, it forced me to grow up a lot. So a lot of times, like even just like the idea of going to a party or whatever, and like how am I able to have fun in a setting where a lot of kids are having fun in the wrong way, but have fun in my way and still be confident in it. So I had to learn who I was, and that experience was really beneficial because now I'm a lot stronger in my faith, and also I just know what I expect of myself and expect of the people I want to surround myself with. So one example was early in first semester, my friends I was just friends with people in my building, so they weren't really Christians, and they were all like, "Oh, let's go to this party and let's go drink and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, I don't do that kind of thing." And they were all like, "But like, you could still come and like, and stuff." And then like it was interesting because at that point I was like, are you able, like, it's like, how am I supposed to have fun and like when everyone around me is drinking or doing drugs or whatever, and that's their way of having fun. So it forced me to also like be more like firm in what I believed and saying like, no, I don't actually like to do that, and then be confident enough to say like, I'm gonna go do something else. And that also helped me find new friends though, because through like clubs and organizations like the Christian campus ministries I was with, that helped me a lot to like find friends that had the same values. They all were like, we're trying to pursue a godly life in a place where it's very ungodly. And because of that, we were able to really encourage each other, and it made our like friendships and our bonds so much stronger because we were all like fighting the same fight. Because we're like, yes, we want to believe God and live his life, but like, how do we do it here? So it was really encouraging for all of us to work together. So that was a lot of what my first semester was like.
Thank you, Salome, for sharing us your experience. So, Drake, you're getting ready to go to college, I guess, this year since it's 2016. So for the teens that want to go to college, having these plans, as I mentioned before, such as doing whatever they want with no limits to their needs, what advice do you have for those who are planning such things before they go to college?
Like you said before, when kids, especially when they have like strict parents, they live their life really secluded. They're just at home. Basically, like my life basically was studying on the weekends, running, and homework. But when you get to college, you have so much more freedom, so much more time. You're forced to make your own decisions because your parents are not going to call you like they suddenly know that you're going to a party. No, you have your own freedom. You can make your own decisions. Mm-hmm. So I think what's most important is to train yourself in high school to know what like, what do you want to do later in your life? Is going to a party drinking going to really help you be the person that you want to be? And as a teenager, you're not going to automatically just leap to, no, I'm not going to have any fun. You're going to want to, like, there's a lot of temptation. Even, like, I thought, like, a couple times, like, is it really that bad? But that's where parents come in. You're supposed to talk and have open discussions with your parents, like, is it really beneficial? Because parents, even though, like, it was in Ethiopia, there's a different setting and environment, they still had, like, temptations. You know, they felt it too. I think it's important for parents to have open discussions with them to realize from their perspective, not just say no, 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 but realize that, yeah, we're human too. Like, our flesh wants to do these things, but how are we going to still keep going on the straight and narrow path that God has provided us? That's what I think, like, with my parents, that I've talked to them about this, and, like, in college, how am I going to keep being the person that I want to be? That's what I think is the most important way, the most beneficial way to really prosper and become the person that God wants you to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next question is for Kennedy, and that is for the children that are ranging from elementary to high school, what is your advice to them? Because some kids think they have fully matured when they enter high school, and at that moment, kids and the parents clash and they start arguing for things their parents say no to them. And they're pretty much holding an appointment when they go to high school. Like, I'm going to do this with my friends and my parents are not going to know about it. I'm going to sneak out. So what is your advice to them?
I would advise them to realize that they're not as mature as they think they are. To know that even though, like, their parents might be from a different country, that they haven't been in the same exact setting, that they still know more. And they have to, like, humble themselves, that they have to know more in order for them to do more, instead of having them, because if they have that vision in their mind that they're, oh, when I go to high school, I'm going to do these things, but is that really what they want to do? They don't, because when I first went to high school, I thought that I would be free as well. Like, I'd have all these freedoms, like my chains were free, and I get to do whatever I wanted to do, but in that setting, like, you're exposed to new things, good and bad, and you just have to sort them out and figure out who you want to be. And sometimes it's hard to do that, and I see where they're coming from, where they think they're mature enough to make their own decisions, but at the same time, there's so much room that one can grow in that span of time, and they have to open themselves up to their parents, to new friends, to all these things, and pray about who they want to become, instead of having this mindset that may or not be good for them,
So the next question is for Mazgana. This age is our observation time, not decision time. That means it's the time where we decide what kind of man or woman we need in our relationship, not deciding, saying, oh, I'm with this guy or this girl right now, so I'm going to be with her forever because we have a whole life ahead of us, you know? So, but most Habesha kids are so quick in any decision, such as relationships, and this is because we have some friends that are, I guess, older than us. So for those who think above their age level, what advice do you have for them to not be in any risk?
So what my advice would be is that, you know, having a friend relationship is all right, but when you think about taking that to another step is a whole different thing. And having a friend is all right, but when you think about it in a different sense or in a different situation, taking that to a relationship, you need to also think, what is that going to, what effect will it have on your life? What is how are your parents going to react? How is your peers going to react? How are your, just in general, what is going to happen? And whoever you ideal go to have a relationship with, what is their age and how do they react? And because that can have an effect on you too. So what my advice would be is think about the situation, how you're doing, what are you doing, and why and how is this going to affect you. And it might change you based on the person you are getting yourself with. So like I said, how are you doing is as in like, how is your connection with your family? Are they ready to hear that you are doing that? Are they ready to take the fact that you said you got yourself into this, and how are you going to get yourself out of it if something bad happens? So to conclude this all together and to put it in one whole point, the best way is to look at your situation, think about it. What is this going to do to you, and how are you going to be able to handle it? And plus, also know who this person is. Don't just jump into a relationship and say, "Oh, I know this person for a couple of years now. Now let's just take it to the next level and see how all this works out." Which that is not a good idea. So, so yeah.
Anyone wants to add?
I think that like in our society or like in our Habesha community, we just automatically assume that dating is wrong. Well, dating's not really wrong. It's supposed to be used so that you could find the characteristics that you want to see in your husband or wife. I just think that dating to just have fun is not really the best idea, because you probably have other things that you can be using for your time. Like you can like go to like, you can be doing schoolwork and that's free time, but you can be doing so many other things. Is investing yourself in a whole other human being and like being in a committed relationship really worth it if it's not going to be taken to like ultimately the next level? Because if it's not just going to be taken to marriage or like even a serious relationship, then why are you wasting that time? Because time is a gift given from God. Why are you using it in such a way that results in either sin or just like wastage?
I definitely agree with JT. I think that with relationships that we always have to look at why we're entering into them. So if you're entering into it because you're lonely or because everyone around you is in a relationship, then because then you're not really seeking God in that situation. Everything you do must glorify God, including relationships. He created marriage and everything, love, everything. He is love, right? So the idea that he created it and he embodies it means that he knows how to do it properly. So the first thing you should do is pray about it. When you think about getting into a relationship, you should first pray. And you need to involve people in your relationship. If you're hiding, I know Habesha kids all the time, we like to hide our relationships. That's so dangerous because like relationships are meant to be a community thing where you have pastors, you have people speaking into you, praying into the relationship. Because when you're in a relationship, you're all lovey-dovey, so you can't think clearly about who this person is. So when people come and tell you, oh, I don't know if what he is, like for me, like a guy, right? If they tell me, oh, I'm not sure if how he behaves away from you or how he behaves in other situations are actually beneficial to you. But I'd be like, but he's great, and like when he's around me, it's okay. But like that's because I'm not in a place to really observe it objectively. So you need other people to come in and say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea, or hey, maybe you should take this step, or you need to pray about this, or God told me to tell you this. You need people praying into your relationship always. So if you have a relationship that you're hiding, you automatically know you shouldn't be in a relationship. You're not ready. If you can't be open with people and be like, this is who I am and this is who I'm with, and I need help with it, then you're not in the proper maturity level to enter into that.
Okay, so my question for you is, Habesha children and their parents they lack communication, and that's probably because of the language, the cultural barriers, and what is your advice for them to increase in communicating?
For me, I think the big things that create these communication barriers between Habesha parents and their kids is the culture difference and the time and generation difference, and also when you add Christianity into it, it's also like another factor that adds into it. And the parents are not familiar with like the way the kids have adapted to this culture where they have been raised, and the parents are not like familiar to it. So that's when like the kids feel like, oh, my parents won't understand, so I can't tell them, and they start keeping secrets and hiding things. And also like even when it comes to school activities, like the parents didn't have this in their day and age, so like when the kids talk about it, they're like, oh, it's not important, you know what I mean, you don't need it, like, so they'll tell them no, and then the kids are like,
oh, I can't tell my parents. I have to do it on my own time or when they don't know because I know they're going to say no. And I think both the kids and parents have to come to an understanding. Like the kids need to realize that everything that the parents say and do and where they're coming from is like only for the good of the kid. You know what I mean? They wouldn't want to withhold anything good from their children. They just want to protect and show them love and everything. But also the parents need to understand that and trust that they have instilled good morals in their children so that they can like become trusting and like believe that their kids will choose the right decision and understand where their kids are coming from, and then the kids will be more open to them and more honest with them and be like, Mom, can I do this? And like sit there and have a conversation on whether it's good or bad, or you know what I mean, like things like that.
To add on to that, like I agree like about what you said, like how if they never communicate, how will they ever understand each other? Like if there's no like speaking out of like what they think or like how the others think about the situation, there's no progress, there's no development in the situation. So by not doing it, it's just like detrimental to both like the relationship and how like that child will grow up thinking that their parents will never understand them. And that shouldn't be something that should happen, because it's just a simple fix between having discussions with your parents and just saying what you think instead of holding it back and just thinking in your head that you're the only one who will ever really understand it, when that's not the case.
I also think that it's important that Abisha parents become learners, because they haven't been raised in this culture. They have to be willing to humble themselves and say, can I learn what your struggles are? What situations are you getting yourself into and you find yourself in? Because then I can help you. Instead of like, oh, I'm bringing my Ethiopia culture and I'm trying to apply it to your American upbringing. That doesn't really work because they clash. Because like in Ethiopia, what's going on in Ethiopia and what's going on here is very different. So the best way for them to communicate is be like, I'm willing to understand. I'm willing to learn. Help me. Let's work on this together. So it's all about cooperation, I think.
Thank you guys for joining our GNB Youth Ministry program. It was lit, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
We hope you guys have gotten something from today's lesson, but we would like to give an assignment for the parents. And for you guys not to forget it, the abbreviation is TLD. T stands for give time for your kids, spend time with them. And L stands for don't talk, just listen to your kids. Let them tell you anything they want, and what you gotta do is not freak out or anything. D stands for discuss with your kids after they have talked and you listened. You don't decide for them, but you give them advice, and they will start feeling comfortable around you and start sharing more stuff with you guys. And you will start building a strong relationship with your kids.
And if there are any topics you guys want us to discuss about, send it to us on our email on the screen that pops up. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and download the GNB app.
የተከበራችሁ የጂኤንቢ ሚኒስትሪ የቴሌቪዥን ተከታታዮች እንደምን ሰንብታችኋል? የጂኤንቢ ሚኒስትሪ ፕሮግራም ከተጀመረ የሚቀጥለው ወር 1 ዓመቱን ያስቆጥራል። ይህን 1 ዓመት በማስመልከት ከናንተ በጣም ብዙ ነገር ምክርም ሁሉን ነገር መስማት እንፈልጋለን። አስተያየት የተማራችሁትን ያንን መስማት እንፈልጋለንና እንግዲህ ለጂኤንቢ ሚኒስትሪ የቴሌቪዥን አገልግሎት ተጠቃሚዎች ወይም ተገልጋዮች በሙሉ በዚህ ባሳለፍነው 1 ዓመት የቴሌቪዥን ስርጭት እግዚአብሔር ያስተማራችሁን በህይወታችሁ ውስጥ ያገኛችሁበትንና የተባረካችሁበትን ነገር እንደዚሁም እንድታስተላልፉት የምትፈልጉትን የማበረታቻና የምክር ቃል እስከ አንድ ደቂቃ ተኩል በሚያህል ጊዜ በሞባይላችሁ በድምጽ ብትፈልጉ በድምጽ ብቻ ብትፈልጉ ደግሞ በቪዲዮ ቀርጻችሁ info@gnbministry.org በሚለው የኢሜል አድራሻችን መላክ ትችላላችሁ። በሞባይላችሁ እንደቀረጻችሁ ወዲያው በቫይበር እንዲሁም በቴክስት ቁጥራችን በ773 943 1495 በማለት በቀጥታ መላክ እንደምትችሉ እያሳወቅን በይበልጥ ደግሞ በቪዲዮ ምስል ቀርጻችሁ የምትልኩ ከፊት ለፊታችሁ በቂ ብርሃን እናንተ ላይ የሚያርፍ በቂ ብርሃን መኖሩን አረጋግጣችሁ እንድትቀርጹ እናሳስባለን። ለድምጹ ጥራት ደግሞ ጸጥ ያለ አካባቢ መምረጥ ይኖርባችኋል ማለት ነው። በመልእክታችሁ ውስጥ አብሮ መግለጽ ከተቻለ ስማችሁን እንዲሁም ከየት ሀገር ሆናችሁ የጂኤንቢ ሚኒስትሪ የቴሌቪዥን ፕሮግራም እንደምትከታተሉ ብትገልጹልን በጣም ደስ ይለናል። ቢሆንም ግን ይሄ ግዴታ ነው ማለት አይደለም። ይህንን መልእክት ደግሞ የምትልኩልን መልእክት በፈለጋችሁት ቋንቋ ከአማርኛ ሌላ በትግርኛ፣ በኦሮምኛ፣ በጉራግኛ፣ በእንግሊዝኛ በተመቻችሁ ቋንቋ ቀርጻችሁ መላክ ትችላላችሁ። እና ስለተከታተላችሁን በጣም ነው የምናመሰግነው። እግዚአብሔር ከእናንተ ጋር ይሁን። በሰላም ቆዩ። አሜን።